15 years ago, the city started City Plan. And that's essentially a document that sets some guidelines about how we're going to accomplish our vision for the future. We update this document every 5 years, and the most recent effort to update that is called Plan Fort Collins, which will help update both the Transportation Master Plan and City Plan.
City Plan is the community's comprehensive plan. It's critical that the city, in preparing that document, get as much of a broad-based input from the community as we can. Ultimately, the document will be adopted by the City Council. So it is really their plan, but obviously they are elected officials and they are representatives of the electorate in the community, so they represent the community.
All that public input on what kind of community Fort Collins should be gets compiled by staff and presented to council, who, with more input, create the city's values and vision. The values and vision of the city become the foundation for City Plan. To that, we add census data. Who lives here? Employment data, physical attributes. What industries are we trying to attract and grow? Current and projected water and energy use. Where is growth going to happen? What are the transportation trends? Where do people live, work, and play? All that data goes into City Plan and is used for the Transportation Master Plan as well.
We can't do the transportation planning and analysis without understanding the land use plans and how those work together. We also have to take into account our energy needs and our water and wastewater planning and all of the other services that go into developing and operating a city-wide system.
And the subjective data, I think, is equally important, and that really has to do with people's opinions, their perspectives, their viewpoints, their ideas. And it's not always to say everything by the numbers, because part of the qualitative data is important to shape the quality of the community itself.
That's why we have sub-area plans. They start with City Plan and add the values of that specific area, what's there now and what's coming, the physical features of the area, and what that area needs. A park, bike lanes, a grocery store.
That process of developing that plan takes a lot of public input. What are the needs, transportation, land use, compatibility. And then once that's set, the land use pattern is set, then it's complemented by the zoning, which is actually the implementation tool.
Regulations in the land use code all find a policy basis either back in City Plan or a sub-area plan dealing with that specific area.
So the sub-area plan becomes the basis for any development in that area. But any major project also has to have public input and meet the land use code, the building code, and go through a development review process.
So then an application comes forward, and it could vary from an individual homeowner wanting to expand their home, or all the way up to a large development application with hundreds of homes, commercial, and those sorts of uses. So regardless of whether it's the small project or the large project, it needs to tie and fit into that overall plan that was created.